youtube.com/MugenLord. Subscribe to the channel for gaming news, updates, discussion, and live streams. Signing off.
Hey everyone, this is MugenLord here, and I want to talk a bit about my favorite Capcom brawler of my childhood, called Power Stone. It was released in North America in 1999 on the Sega Dreamcast. To me, that was the golden era of gaming. Those were my middle school days where all you had to do was worry about homework, hanging out with friends, asking out girls, and playing video games. So Christmas of 1999, I finally tore open my very own Sega Dreamcast. I won't get into much details about the 6 titles that I had for Christmas because I definitely want to go into much more in-depth analysis about the Sega Dreamcast in a much later video. But among the 6 titles that stood out the most was Power Stone. It was a game unlike anything I've ever seen at the time. It was a fighting game, but at the same time an action brawler. All the elements of a fighter was there. You had spacing, zoning with special attacks, and mind games. But at the same time, it was an incredibly fun party game. I remember popping in Power Stone and turned on my Dreamcast and being introduced by a cool but badly voiced narrator from the intro.
That treasure is known as the Power Stone.
What really enhanced my experience with this game was the fact that the game ran at 60 frames per second and the graphics were phenomenal of that era. I really enjoyed the soundtrack, and Capcom of the 90s and the early 2000s had that covered. Fighting in open environments took some getting used to because I grew up mainly playing 2D fighters such as Street Fighter, Samurai Showdown, and other versus games, and many more other games. Being able to interact with the objects within the stage was a pretty unique thing to me as a kid. I remember playing arcade mode for the first time, and the first level I played was Wang Tang's restaurant. I was amazed at the fact that I could pick up tables and chairs to chug at my opponents. Not only that, you were able to climb on poles planted in the center of the levels. The cool thing was, if you were a big character like Gunrock or Galuda, you could rip the poles from the ground and hurl them at your opponent. The environment itself had layers of depth to them, especially with wall jumping and sliding to use as an attack to throw off your opponent, to throw him off guard. And I also loved the character designs and the art style of the game. They were bright and colorful and anime inspired. I loved their transformations once you collected all 3 Power Stones located on the level. Falcon turned into an Iron Man-like superhero, and Gunrock pretty much becomes the Thing from the Fantastic Four. How about Wang Tang becoming a literal Super Saiyan? He has a Kamehameha and a Spirit Bomb, for crying out loud. But that's when time has passed, and I often wonder if there will ever be a sequel to this unique fighting game. But nothing came of it until one day in Dreamcast magazine, a preview article of Power Stone 2 appeared. But this time it included an all-out 4-player mode, new expansive environments, and an adventure mode that had a 2-player co-op tie-in to it, plus a sub-boss and main boss to close out the story. This was a whole new chapter for the Power Stone series. It was everything I hoped for in a sequel. I recalled every Friday my parents would allow me to invite over friends and my cousins to play video games all night. Power Stone 2 was the new game we all played, wings and pizza to complement the experience. Unlike the first Power Stone game in the series, there were double the collectibles to unlock, and not only that, you were able to craft weapons and items. I said instead of 3 Power Stones, there were 5 Power Stones. Not only that, some stages had second transitional stage changes, which act as a final destination of that level. The game turns from a fighter to an all-out platformer. Loads of fun. My favorite level was the elevator because you start on the first floor and you battle it out against your friends until a warning sign appears, and all you have to fight your way to the elevator platform. There were 3 levels. In the final levels, we were introduced to a boss that acted as a stage hazard. Now, how about the tomb stage where the ground collapsed and you're now running from this huge boulder Indiana Jones style, or platforming your way to the top of a dojo in order to avoid the flame arrows that was burning away the platforms as you climb to the top. Of course, the game introduced new characters like a chef, a cowboy named Acel, and this weird looking kid named Pete. The game was a blast and was a ton of fun. Not too long afterwards, Sega had pretty much stepped down from the console race and decided to stick to software development. So all hopes for a Power Stone 3, in my opinion, was shattered. I waited and waited to hear something from Capcom about a potential 3rd installment of the game, but nothing. Until 2009, Capcom hinted something Power Stone related. I was excited until we later found out that it was pretty much the Power Stone collection coming to the PSP. I was quite disappointed because I owned a PSP, but I didn't know many others who did. So to me, it was a wasted opportunity for Capcom, in my opinion. At this point, I was hoping to at least see Power Stone representation in other Capcom titles. But Falcon did appear in Capcom vs. SNK as a cameo, and Jack was also considered for Marvel vs. Capcom 3 at one point. Then there were rumors that Falcon was even considered for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but instantly shot down when Falcon of Marvel was considered to be a character in the game. It was said that Marvel didn't want brand confusion between Falcon from Power Stone and Falcon from Marvel Comics. What would a Power Stone be like in today's gaming generation? I would imagine it being suited for the Nintendo Switch perfectly, but of course a PS4 and Xbox One should also have a release as well. I would like to believe they could make various different size stage environments to hold up to 8 players. Maybe a roster of 26 characters would be awesome with a ton of new weapons and unlockables. Of course, online play would be essential for this game, but at this moment, this would only be a dream. It's funny because years later, I found out that Power Stone even had an anime released in the 90s. I completely missed out on that experience, and too bad. Maybe I decided I'll probably pick up the DVDs, because I definitely need to have that part of my collection. But that's pretty much my overall experience with the Power Stone series, and it's a shame that we have never have gotten a Power Stone 3 at all, or even any news or any hints or anything directed towards a Power Stone 3. And I think it will be perfect for Capcom to at least re-release it on today's generation and platforms, and even on Steam and PC. I think that'll be pretty cool to at least gauge if there's any type of interest in the franchise, and maybe they can revive it after they do a remaster or a re-release and add online mode to the re-release. I think that'd be awesome. But I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Share your first experience with me about that you had with Power Stone and Power Stone 1 and 2, and in your opinion, which one was your favorite Power Stone? Was it the first entry or the second entry of the series? I definitely like to hear that. So if you want to hear anything else related to Power Stone or Capcom related games, make sure you share, you like, and you subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell to be notified when I release more videos in the future. This is MugenLord signing off. See you game fiends later. Peace out. It looks like you reached the end of the video. Well, while you're at it, check out some of my other discussion videos by clicking on the annotations below. And don't forget to follow me on other social media platforms to stay up to date with future content. Signing off.